is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Good evening, Jason Glick. How are you?
Good evening, John. Yeah, so I hope everyone out here had a very enjoyable Christmas or, whatever solstice-themed holiday you celebrate.
Festivus.
Yep, Festivus for the rest of us.
Yes.
Never seen that episode.
Actually, I've never seen it either. I just know the reference, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm sure one day I will watch it. But anyway, what do you have for us tonight?
Okay, well, it's like, as you all know, it's like, not like, aside from just being like the busiest commercial time of the year, this is also a huge time for movie releases as well. And we have been lucky this week not graced by not just one but two films by Steven Spielberg, which is just kind of like seems odd, and since it would release two of his films like within less than a week of each other, which strikes me as being like competing against yourself style commercial suicide, especially when you got Mission Impossible to contend against with, which hey, like even if you hate Tom Cruise, new Mission Impossible, it's a Tom Cruise movie that even Xenu would love. So I'll just say it right there. And also remember, it's directed by Brad Bird, who did The Incredibles and Ratatouille. So there. Anyway, but my point is that one of the Spielberg films we're getting is called The Adventures of Tintin. Now, it hasn't been doing particularly well at the box office here anyway, because no one knows who the hell Tintin is. However, it's been doing bang-up business overseas, particularly in Europe, because the character is a virtual institution, like over there, thanks to the series of graphic novels done by its creator, Hergé, also known as Georges Remy. The character of Tintin, he's just like an enterprising youth, it's like who's also a newspaper reporter with his. And he's got his faithful white dog Snowy to tag along with him on his adventures, and he just goes and his work as a reporter is just kind of like a pretext to just sending him off on all sorts of adventures all across the world, like tracking down like drug smugglers, slave traders, going to the moon. Looking for hidden treasure. It's like I'm dealing with aliens, like all sorts of crazy ass shit. And the thing is though, it's like even before the movie came out, I still had like some familiarity with the series because I had read a couple of these graphic novels way back in the 5th grade. Don't ask me how this happened, but for some of the reading material that was constantly passed around in our class. Two of them were we had two Tintin graphic novels that were constantly being pushed around. There was Black Island and Tintin in Tibet, and it's like and even though it's like I said, the reason I remember like reading these all the way back in the days because because Tintin's adventures were kind of the adventures that I like to have. It's like just going around like seeing the world, mixing it up with real adult size adventures. It's like without having to worry about your parents going around looking over every single thing you were doing. It's kind of like a kid. A lot of the stuff he was doing was like a kid's dream, just to go off by yourself and have all these great epic adventures, and with your friends as well. Because he's also got his buddy Captain Haddock, who was just like a huge epic. He was a maritime. He was a ship. He's a marine man, ship captain, who's also a big a drunkard and a goofball as you can get. And then there's his other buddy, Professor Calculus, who is basically best described as an absent-minded professor. And it's like just seeing this, and like this stuff it really made an impression upon me back in the day. It's like it's something that I've tried to keep. It's like think about it. Hey, it's like it'd be nice to read some Tintin graphic novels. But for years, the only way, trying to get them through bookstores, it just be hard, pretty hard. And also they're also kind of expensive in the sense that each graphic novel is about 64 pages, and they cost about $10. Well, now, their most recent editions, which let me check the publication date right here. Okay, it says first came out around 2000. These new editions came out around 2007. Now, while the original versions were oversized graphic novels, like they were just like big album size stuff, these new ones are much smaller. I'd say they're almost manga size. They're kind of like oversized and like a little compared to that. But they collect like three graphic novels in one for about $19 each. So it's a really good deal, and they're good dense reads. So you're not gonna blaze through. You or your kids aren't gonna blaze through these in the course of an evening. But still, it's like these. Let's see, these one I picked up volumes 3, 5, and 6 for reference, and I will be going back to pick up the rest. Now, the thing is though that it's like while there are some like plot points and characters that are carried over through the various graphic novels, like there's not really any strict continuity between them. So you really can do what I did and just pick a random one of these 7 volumes like at any point, and then just start reading. I would probably recommend, if you're interested in seeing the movie, I would probably recommend volume 3 to start with, because that includes the first appearance of Captain Haddock in the Crab with the Golden Claws, as Tintin gets involved in a drug smuggling ring, and meets up with, and winds up making friends with the captain, who is the soused captain of the ship that's doing the transporting, like unbeknownst to him, of course. It also contains The Secret of the Unicorn, which also provides the basis for most of the upcoming movie, which is when Tintin winds up buying a scale model ship as a gift for Captain Haddock, and a bunch of people wind up trying to buy it from him because they see it as they know it's true secret, which is as a guide to a great lost treasure. And but what's interesting though is that I didn't realize this when I was buying it, but apparently Secret of the Unicorn is apparently a two-part story. Well, it's not exactly, it doesn't end on an exact cliffhanger. No, wait, yes it does. That's kind of rare in the canon of Tintin because as far as I'm aware of, the only other two-part story is Destination Moon and Explorers on the Moon from Volume 5, which it's like, keep in mind these stories were originally published in the 50s. So when you're showing they're going on their big epic moon trip, it's like there's a lot of fun, crazy pseudoscience they get up to. But it's also but those two volumes, like from 2 stories from Volume 5, Destination Moon and Explorers on the Moon, they're also a good example of the kind of epic adventure that you get from this series. I mean, yes, they're going to the moon. They're going to the moon, but also there's also a great bit of industrial espionage going along in there, as the country that they're flying out from is constantly the efforts to launch the rocket are being constantly undermined by espionage and spy tactics from neighboring country. And that's another thing about these books that make them great, because they don't talk down to the reader, and even though it does deal with some, like I said, it's not some surprisingly mature topics for kids, for kids stories, like I said, espionage. Then there's other ones that deal with the slave trade, drugs. I mean, they don't shy away from violence, but it's not. But the violence itself isn't explicit. Like when someone dies, bad guys do die. Good guys who've been compromised, sacrifice themselves valiantly. It does kind of remind me of the kind of stuff you see in certain manga series where even though it's you're kind of where they do deal with stuff in a more frank. I wouldn't say necessarily more adult. Tintin probably deals with, even though for all its goofiness, Tintin, the violence and themes in Tintin are probably handled a bit more maturely than you'll see in most manga. But even so, it's a lot of, that's another part of I think the series' enduring appeal to kids and even adults is that it doesn't talk down to its reader. But still, though, how does all this compare to the movie? Now, first of all, let me say that the movie was done in using a lot of motion capture technology that Robert Zemeckis pioneered in The Polar Express and also in Night Before Christmas, as well as James Cameron's Avatar. I personally, you can bring up the Uncanny Valley all you want, but I didn't have any problem with how with motion capture of the characters here. It was just fine. It's just that the story, I don't know, the story did feel a bit more kiddie oriented than the books do, since it was just more straight, explicit high adventure, and it's just felt like a real non-stop thrill ride from beginning to end. Well, can't mind in the sense that it's like stuff is always happening, but it very rarely slows down to to really focus on characters. And I would be kind of interested to see how people who aren't familiar with the comic books would get into something like this, because there's a lot to admire in the in how everything's presented, especially this great great action sequence as Tintin and Haddock are trying to steal these 3 scrolls from their adversary. In an Arabic country, and they're having to go blaze through the town as this floods. It's as the aqueduct is flooding it, and all this other chaos that's going on, and it's all handled in one great unbroken shot. It's a great, brilliant piece of filmmaking right there. That was easily the high point of the movie for me. Then you get other stuff like when Haddock and his nemesis duel with cranes. I'm talking about industrial cranes from ship docks. Later on, at the climax, and you're just kind of thinking, that's kind of strikes me as being a bit too ridiculous for its own good. But the movie itself is faithful. Is remarkably faithful for integrating bits and pieces of the Crab with the Golden Claws and the Secret of the Unicorn that I've read into one story. And I will be, like I said, it does. I guess it probably did help that I didn't read the concluding half of The Secret of the Unicorn, Red Rackham's Treasure, so that I was still in the dark as to what was going to happen at the film's climax. So, but even so, it's Jamie Bell does a good job with capturing Tintin's youthful exuberance and innocence without making him seem like a complete tool. Andy Serkis as Captain Haddock, he does a good job, even though he probably makes to me Haddock never had quite the goofball voice that he gives him in this in the movie. Rereading these Haddock, he's a huge goofball. He's not nearly as cool as he thinks he is. But still, it's I always kind of figured him having a much more, oh, I'm a real man of the sea type voice, rather than the billions of blue blistering barnacles type voice that we get. Still, but also of note to any fans of any real nerds out there is that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are provide the voice and motion capture. At least I'm pretty sure they do the motion capture for the two twin detectives, Thompson and Thompson. And they also do a pretty good job with what they're given. It's not necessarily what they're given was bad, but they're called upon to be clueless detectives, and they do that job pretty well. So overall, the movie itself, it's not really a bad thing, but it's not bad by any means, but not something I'd really recommend you go out and see when there's better, more involving stuff in theaters right now. I will say that I'm not sure if it's just me, but I actually caught this in 3D. 3D did nothing for me. I just didn't see the the real depth of field that I got with Avatar. It could be something with the glasses. Could be something with the movie theater I saw it in. But just seeing it then, I was 3D left me.
Story.
No, it's no. it didn't. The 3D in the theater I saw did not make it a more involving experience at all.
Okay.
It's also, I will say, it is the first 3D film I've seen since Avatar, but yeah, it's like it. But still, it's like I said, if you can see it in 2D, you're not going to really miss anything at all.
So save the couple bucks or whatever.
Save the couple bucks. The only reason I did see it in 3D was because the only 2D screening of the film at the theater near me was at like 4:00, and I'm an early matinee kind of guy. I want to go see. Unless I'm going to see with friends, I like to go see a movie early in the day, so that the rest of the day is freed up for other stuff.
I agree with you completely.
Yeah. All right. And so, like I said, movie, okay. Comic books, hell of a lot of fun. Highly recommended for kids of all ages. Oh, and one last thing, because it's like I mentioned that Spielberg is it's mentioned that Spielberg is a fan of the series. He is also a big enough. You can also tell that that he has at least read. Let's see. Let me grab this so I can find this right here. He's at least read the Red Sea Sharks. I say this because if you do decide to go out and buy Volume 6 after listening to me talk, turn to page 94, and then on the lower right-hand panel, you will see what I swear to God is a carbon copy of the temple from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Yeah, because you remember when they were that final place where in the canyon of the Crescent Moon, where they were going in to find the Grail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you remember what it looked like from the outside? I swear, its doppelganger is right here on the page. So obviously that was a very, very nice homage on Spielberg's part. But after reading this stuff, it's easy to see why he would be influenced by it.
Gotcha. There. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that it?
That is it, and I will be back next week with the best of 2011, one way or the other, because I've been rolling around in my head, and while I'm got some great manga picks, everything else I'm just gonna, like I said, I'll be thinking about it more and more as we go on.
Gotcha. All right, we'll talk to you next time on Comic Picks by the Click.
All right, laters.
Later. Bye.